Active listening. So today I'm going to talk about active listening and how you can use it in your corporate environment, maybe in personal as well. Now, understand that I personally believe that active listening is one of the most difficult things that one can, conquer, capture. So this is my attempt to share with you what I feel active listening could help as well. Part of this information also comes from an article from Harvard Business Review written in 2016. And part of the information also comes from the several books that I have read. So here it goes. Now, first and foremost is that when it comes to active listening, we have to make sure, especially let's say if the conversations are really, really difficult, right? If the conversation is tricky, if there's an escalation, if there's a person who wants to share something personal, or you want to get something done from a team member, but that team member is not able to do it and you want to understand the why behind it, right? So you need to have an open ear. So the first and foremost is that you need to give the other person a safe environment, a trustful environment. What it means is that if you're in office physically, you should take the person either out. You don't take the person out for a coffee if it is an important discussion, but you can always take the person to a meeting room or a place where there's less distraction. Okay, less distraction. What it means from less distraction is that your mobile phone, the other person's mobile phone, your laptop, and anything that can take the mind away, that can give the other person a feel or a sense that he or she is not listening to me, and I'm just here. So you have to take the situation and figure out which is an appropriate place. Let's call it as a safe environment. So you take them to a safe environment. Okay, so that's number one. Now the second is that, like I said, you remove the distraction. So make sure that you don't get any calls. Make sure that you don't keep your Simon Sinek always says this, that the moment you keep the phone even upside down out of your pocket, you're telling the person that, hey, I don't care about you, I don't care about your discussion. So make sure that the phone is in the pocket, and if your pocket cannot hold it, why don't you just keep it in the drawer, lock it up, and go for it. So because remember, you are the one who's going to practice active listening and give the comfort to the other person, right? So make sure that the phone is not there physically. The next one I would say is that you have to pay attention. So now let's say you both know the topic and the other person is speaking. So you have to now pay attention to it. So how do you do that? Now that's a tricky thing. So but paying attention means that you have to actively listen or practice listening to it actively. So what does it mean? Basically, paying attention, actively listening, is you have to nod where you think is the right place to nod, correct? So I would suggest, don't say okay, because that's also interrupting. That also means that you're acknowledging. So this is the way you nod for yes, this is the way you nod for no, right? So make sure that you nod appropriately in the right context as well. Okay, giving them the acknowledgement that yes, I'm listening to you. Oh, your facial expressions can also help the other person that you're paying attention. So if there's something that the person is shocked or surprised, raising your eyebrows will also share. If they're a little tense, a little nervous or sad, you can make a face similar to that. If you feel that they are into some really, really interesting topic. Now understand this, active listening doesn't mean that the person on the other end, that whoever you talk to, is in trouble, right? It could be a very exciting vacation and they're sharing. So you got to be pumped with them that you're excited as well, right? So that is what would happen when you pay attention. Okay. So once you pay attention, this is active listening. Now, as a part of active listening, you also need to watch their nonverbals, right? So like I said, if they're excited about something, they're not happy with something, their body language is not showing different signs, you have to grasp them, right? So there are many ways to do it. You can look at their hands that are moving across, you can look at their facial expressions, you can look at their overall body posture, how it is, and you'll figure it out. Once you've done that, now the next step is that don't be a narcissist. Okay, so what exactly that means is that you should not interrupt them by saying that, let's say if they say, oh, I had such a lovely trip in Paris. Hey, did you went there in Paris? It's such a nice, I know. Don't do that. All right. If they're sharing something which is difficult, don't say that, oh, you know what, I had a worse than this is nothing and stuff like that. Don't do that. That's not a sign of a good leader. That's not a sign of a good listener. All right. Don't take control of the topic that they are sharing by introducing your own thing. All right. There is a time to do that, and there's a way to do that, and I'll share it. So you understand that you have to avoid interrupting. Now, how do you do that? One of the things is, if you do not think about a response for they're not even asking a question, right? They're saying something. So if you don't think about the response and rather just be curious to know, your questions, your next statements that come out of your mouth will automatically be different. So for example, if someone is saying that, hey, you know what, I had recently one of my aunts passed away, and I'm not feeling good. My father is little impacted, and the whole system is little down at the place. You don't have to say that, don't take it up by saying that, oh, I can understand, my aunt, this is what we did and stuff like that. Okay. So instead in your head that, aunt passed away, and you're going to have a follow-up story from your end, rather than ask a reasonable question. How is they coping up right now, and so on and so forth. And then there will be a stage where you would get a time to do a closure in a way, right? And that is where you can give your suggestion, your feedback, or your thing, but make sure that let the emphasis be there on the other person all the time, so that the other person feels that you have heard. Because most of the time, like, I have literally personally gone through both stages. Okay, one where I am a idiot of sharing my story on everybody's story and how it disconnects, and the other is where I have just kept my mouth shut and just listened to them. Really listen, like no word, absolutely, for almost 2-3 minutes, and they're just talking. And I realized that when I do that, and then after 3 minutes of talk is a long time, by the way, and after 3 minutes, when you ask them or be curious about something, they feel that I was with them all the while. And when they feel that, they can sense that I'm empathetic and I really care for them. And that's the whole point, right? Because listening at the end of the day is about making the other person feel that, I'm there for you, I'm listening to you. Okay. So it's a very, 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 very tricky habit. If I have to summarize it, like I said, create a safe environment, remove the distractions, build the trust with them, pay attention to what they say, practice active listening by nodding, clarifying questions, and so on. Be curious rather than being judgmental. So do not be narcissist. Don't use your story, your topic. Don't sway them to your thing in the middle. Ask them clarifying questions. Be curious to know more about it, so they'll be happy. Like if they're talking about a vacation, be curious to know what did they try and stuff like that. Let them vent out. If it's a happiness or a sadness, it doesn't matter. Let them vent out that whole emotion that they have of either curiosity or that they're not happy about something. So it could be both. Watch their nonverbals, acknowledge their nonverbals, and then at the end probably you can share whatever you have. But first and foremost is listen. One of my clients, he mentioned about listening was that in the meeting he has practiced listening after working with me, and I keep telling everyone is that listening is very challenging. So he started listening, and this is what he had to say. He mentioned that, Amit, after I started to keep my mouth shut and just listen and be the last to speak in the meeting, now I don't have to think about the answer immediately. As a leader, I don't have to come up with many things because my team does it for me. There are a lot of ideas, and once I'm the last to listen, I get to know everyone's perspective, and I can work and appreciate who's doing what, and as well as I don't have to come up with an idea up front. So listening has helped him a lot. It has freed up his time and his mind. So listen. I conduct masterclasses where I teach people few hacks that can help you to build your confidence in communication, in the corporate world. So if you're somebody who's in a corporate world, and if you're facing challenges of communication or lack of confidence at workplace that is bothering your current work, I would suggest you to join my masterclass. You can go to the website called as www.communicatewithimpact.com.au and register for it. There should be a masterclass coming up soon, so I would suggest to register for it and join me. I have fantastic feedback. People within a span of 90 minutes have now learned how to exactly be confident when it comes to presenting, how to gain respect from their leaders, and how to even talk during presentations. So join me, I'll be very happy. Do subscribe to this channel because I can see that there are 80% of my viewers are not subscribed. So why don't you, if there's a knowledge that is coming out from me, I would really be happy if you click on the subscribe button. It motivates me to create more videos for you so that I can take it forward, so you can enjoy it. I love doing this. So I hope you do the same. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. Bye.